right. So, welcome to an all new episode of the UnDunn Podcast. Disruptor is how I would best describe my next guest. She's carved out a path all her own, and she always looks 90s fly while doing it. Today we are joined by, and I'm so honored to have her today because we have bonded. Okay, we have had a time.
Yes.
Today we are joined by the bomb and talented celebrity hairstylist, entrepreneur, and editor-in-chief of Deeper Than Hair magazine, Kee Taylor. Hey, Kee.
Hey, what's up, girl?
What? Kee. We have a lot to unpack today.
Yes.
Lots to unpack. But before we even start, how are you?
I'm great. How about you?
I'm better. I'm much.
You back and you better.
I'm much better. I'm much better. So excited again to have you on the UnDunn Podcast and chat with you today. Let's first start with my hair and the process that we just went through. Okay, so just to give people a little background, so I have been wearing a wig. As you can see, there's no curls here. A lot of people are used to me, popping up with the curls. I have been wearing this wig since last year, and I was just wearing it, right? Like with neglecting my own hair. Like, so I wouldn't be combing my hair. I would just be popping on the wig, kind of like a hat, if you will, because it just kind of became like, okay, put on the outfit, put on the wig and go. And so I have been wearing this wig, and I turned 40 last year, and Kee also turned 40 last year. And I had, still been in the wig, but going through a transition in my career and just in my life and just everything. But I just wasn't ready to let go of it at that time. And so this year I was so inspired, and I've been following you for a long time, like for years. And I had saw like your videos of the one you did with Kelly and her bob. And I was like, that's so cute. And I was like, dang, I wish I could, like shed this hair and just start anew, start fresh, right? And so I just reached out to your people, aka Jasper, and it was like, can we do something, and things led to things, and here we are. We had, again, like I said at the beginning, a bonding session. We bonded over 10 hours or however long it was with hair. And I feel like hair, especially with Black women, is such a sacred and such a special time because our hair is such, I feel like, ingrained in like our being, right? Like how we show up in the world, like our hair is like what people see and how they identify us. But that's a little bit about that. And then Kee, you want to talk about like the process of what we went through, like taking the wig off and then like going through my hair. And then most importantly, I want to talk about how important it is to, if we're wearing protective styles and wigs and everything like that, how important it is for us to manage and take care of our real hair underneath. I know that was a lot.
Yeah. All right. So what happened yesterday? You want me to tell them really what happened yesterday?
Yes, let's tell them.
So I came to do her hair, and me and her had been corresponding for about a week. Me and you have been corresponding for about a week, and it was just laughs and smiles and just happiness. And so when I got to the door, I was just so excited to finally meet her in person and do what we came to do. And I had a pedicure appointment in 2.5 hours, and I said, I'm gonna go in here and knock this out. I'm gonna go get my feet done. And I got to the door, I'm like, hey, like all happy to see her. And she's like, hi. And I'm like, where's the lady I've been talking to for a week? Like, what's happening here? And so she's standing there, and like her hair is down in the back, and it's like she has her hair sectioned off in these two sections to detangle, and they weren't sections to detangle. They were locks. They were locks. Her hair locked up. So what happened is, because she's been wearing a weave or wig for 4.5, 5 months. Every day, even if your hair is braided underneath, whether it's just pulled back in a little scoop ball bun, it's weird because our hair sheds about 75 to 150 strands a day, growth and replace system, growth and replace. And so because the hair is shedding, it's not allowed to fall out. Like, every day when we comb our hair, our real hair, it's strands of hair on the floor, in the sink, in our brush. But instead of the hair going there, it's just sitting in the bun, or it's sitting in the braids. So her hair was sitting in the bun, and she went straight into a shampoo without brushing all of those strands out of the bun. So she went straight into a shampoo, and all of the loose strands that should have been on the floor and in the sink and in the brush was all wrapped up in the hair that was still attached to her head, and it turned into two big locks. Like they looked like two ponytails when I got there. And I'm like, I didn't know that they were even locked. And so I'm like, she's like, Kee, I'm here trying to detangle. I don't know what happened. She's like, these are like locked up. And I'm like, okay. So I've had a situation with a woman who hair was locked before, and she came to me to get them out. And then she had little locks all over her head. And it took me 3 hours to get them out. So in my brain, I'm like, all right, let me just change my nail appointment. And we'll be here probably about 3 hours, all good. 10 hours later, we got them bad boys out. They were serious. They were like really big and really matted. And she was stressed out the whole time. Like, Kee, we could just cut it off. And it's like, me right here, I'm the person to call when you're going through that kind of stuff, because I'm not going to give up on the situation. It's like, cutting the hair is not the option. The option is to save it. So I know a lot of people see me cut hair. Anytime you see me cutting hair, it's because somebody asked me to do it. And even with your hair, it was so long. Once it got blown out, it was thinner.
Cut it still.
Right. When we didn't cut it yet, it was once we blew her hair out, once it was, all the locks were out and we blew it out. Her hair was so long, but her hair is on a finer side, like a I don't want to use thin because it's always have like a negative undertone, but her hair is more so on the fine side. So we just ended up blowing it out, and she's like, just cut it off. I'm not attached. I just want to start over or whatever. And this is what we have now, this beautiful little bob. It's so adorable on her. It just took all these years off of her and everything, and she just feels free. So I'm glad we got that done, because baby, if we would have did what you said, we would have ended up with a little pixie. And I mean, pixies are fire, but you didn't have to have one, So I'm glad that this is what we have, because it looks so good on you.
Hey, listen, I'm a cry girl, and I don't want to even do that, but I just felt like no, I'm serious, because I felt like what you said, because I kept saying, like, just cut it, because I was like, oh my God, and I'm not attached to it, but you made me feel so like secure in the process of, and
you gotta feel safe. You're supposed to feel safe with your hairstylist. You're supposed to
made me feel so safe, and I felt in a safe space. I felt protected, even though it's hair. You just kept saying, no, I have to at least know that I tried. And for me, that meant so much to me. And I want to ask you next, Kee, like, how can people identify, or not even identify, but how can they know, or I guess identify looking for somebody that they could feel safe with, like I did. This was your first time doing my hair, right? Like we did, so I felt safe with you, like you had been doing my hair for years, like you were my hairstylist, right? How can people find a hairstylist that's specific to their needs, but also where they can have a safe space and a safe environment?
Honestly, if you're looking for a safe space, it's best to just do a referral, just somebody who is close to you that already goes to this person. That's the best way, because I can sit up here and be like, go do your research, go on Instagram, go on your website, but it's like everybody has the same marketing game, and you know what I'm saying? And so it's not about that, it's about experiences. So if you have someone who has been to a hairstylist before, somebody's like, listen, I got the perfect person for you, that's probably the best way to go about it.
Right. I think that's so good. Cause I mean, again, y'all, I was literally like you said, just cut it off. Like, just take it away. And you were adamant, but also just gentle. And I done been to a bunch of hairstylists, and they've been good, but I just felt like for you to have done my hair for the first time, I really felt, safe. I felt seen, I felt heard, even though I was telling you to cut it, you weren't trying to hear that, but you still were like, let me do what I have to do. Just don't worry about it. Even at, the inconvenience, you know what I'm saying? Of like, the appointments and everything.
Right.
So y'all, she retired, but if y'all can get y'all a Kee in your life, I mean, I'm just saying.
Yes.
She retired for regular people, but she's still, tapping in with the celebs all the time.
Tap in.
Yes. Okay. So Kee, now you grew up in Philly. What was life like for you growing up as a child? Talk a little bit to us about that.
Life for me as a child, I was raised by my great grandma. My mom and dad were on drugs when I was born, just a product of the 80s, and so my great grandmother lived a few blocks away from them. So she came around and just took me home one day, and I stayed with her for the next 14 years. And she came and got me when I was like 2. So 14 years I stayed with her. And it was just it was different, being a loud little kid. I'm a Gemini, so everything was just like hearts and stars and rainbows, and I was loud, and I just was creative, and I danced around, and I just being raised by a woman in her 70s was just like all she did was yell at me for being myself. And so, I found my outlet outside. So every day I woke up, I wanted to go to my best friend Shay's house, and Shay's mom pretty much took over the role of my mom for a while until, I rekindled my relationship with my own mother. And it just turned, and Shay's mom is still my mom, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? She just was my other mom. And so she allowed me to just, I had my best friend. So we just jumped around and we were annoying. We were very annoying, but we were great. And so it was a good friendship, and it's still a great friendship, my best friend in the world. And, she's really my sister. I don't even, I feel good and grateful to have had that outlet. I played in her hair, like I played in all my other friends' hair. And, it was sometimes it wasn't so great. And then as I practiced, it got better. I had a neighbor named Sheenie. She was older than us, and she braided and did French rolls and stuff in the 90s. So I was so into Sheenie. I would watch her work. And I learned how to braid from Sheenie and do all kind of things. Every time I seen Sheenie do something, I went home and tried on my baby dolls, and I just learned how to do hair. And I have a bunch of interviews where the people are like, how did you know you were going to be a great hairstylist? I said, when my baby dolls look better than everybody else's baby dolls on the block. So, I just, in elementary school, I was in all the clubs, library club. I did the morning announcements. I was yes, I was in the what was our it's like a club where we danced and stuff. I'm trying to remember the name, but performer arts. I was in performer arts. We sang, my friend Shanika, me and her, we sang The Greatest Love of All in front of a whole school. We would be Escape and SWV and just all this fun stuff. So just I was just full of life always. I love just being a girl. I love being, you know what I'm saying? So I had a blast as a child. So I definitely saw creativity as my future. As a child, they'd be like, what you want to be when you grow up? Because I was raised by my mom. So this is what they were telling me. But I was like, I want to be a pediatrician, and I want to drive a red Corvette. And that was my thing. And it's like, pediatrician, I appreciate all the pediatricians, but baby, that is not my thing. No way, Jose. Who told me to say that? So I went through a whole lot of creative phases. I was top of my art classes all the way through high school. I always did hair, did everybody's nails and toes. I made clothes. I did interior decorating, all of this stuff that you could think of that's creativity behind it. I was with it.
Wow. I love that you said you did a bunch of things, because a lot of people will say, well, I only was interested in this one thing. So out of all the things, what was it about hair for you that made you tap in and say, okay, this may be the path for me, or at least
it just kept calling me back. All the people whose hair I did would start to come back, and I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. I used to work at a daycare from 13 to 18, and it started as me making the lunches during the summer, and then when I graduated high school, I was like running part of the summer camp and all of that, and I was assistant teacher. And basically I followed in my mom's footsteps because my mom was really into childcare. Like when I was born, it was all childcare, everything. My mom had worked at a daycare since before I even remember.
Mhm.
And so I just felt safe in that environment, but I didn't love it. I went to college for 2 semesters for early childhood education. And this was like, yeah, this isn't it. And so during the time that I worked at the daycare, the parents would pay me to do their children's hair during lunch
Mhm.
or during nap time. They would pay me to do that or after school. And the teachers there would pay me to do their hair because my hair was always fly. I mean, it's just a little not that cute today, but
Girl,
my
it's still fly. Are you kidding me? Always key. Quit playing. Okay.
yeah, my hair was always fly. So they'd be like, "Oh, who does your hair?" I'm like, "Me." And so they'd be like, "Oh, do you do other people?" Like, yep." And so I used to be in my mom and dad's basement, just charging 5, 10. You just give me $5, give me $10. And my aunt Aniki, I'm named after her. My aunt Aniki was like, girl, you gotta get a little more than that. So I started charging like $25 and stuff. And then once I start making, like, I remember the first day that I made $95 in a day. And I was like looking at my hand with the money in it. And I said, oh my goodness, I made $95 today. I think I was 18.
Mhm.
And that was a big deal for me. And so I'm like, I think hair was just my favorite. No matter what I did, hair just pulled me back. So that's pretty much my timeline of childhood and teenage years with
Yes.
hair.
And so while you're in Philly, you're working, you're thriving. You do have a sweetheart that you ended up
Yes, Chris. Yeah, he
how
was
important
my
was he in your journey to
well, he was my first love, and he's a huge part of my journey because he was just a big escape for me because my teenage years were a little rough. I'm not gonna lie. Like me and my mom, actually, we just bumped heads a lot. She was just trying to raise a good teenager. That's not an easy job, whether at the time, your parents be like, one day you gonna understand. And it's like, yeah, I understand now. My mom just was trying to make sure that she had a good kid coming out of this home, and so Chris was my escape. He had dreams of he wanted to be a rapper, and he was a great rapper, not because he was my boyfriend, but because he was really great. You can listen to his work now and it still sounds timeless. And so what would happen is he had this dream and I had this dream. I wanted to be in the industry. I wanted to do hair for celebrities and that was my thing. And he ended up passing away 7 years into our relationship in his sleep. And what ended up happening is I feel like if I don't believe in anything else, I believe in angels. And I've suffered a lot of losses in my life. And when Chris left, I was grateful. I was sick that he had to go, but I am also grateful that he left with my dreams in his heart. And I know it's like as soon as he left, things started to kind of transform for me in my career. And I know it was him, just like as my mom and dad have left in the last 5 years. I know that it's them doing what they're doing now. It's like when your angels leave with everything that you want and take it to where they're going. I believe that the love and the light that they had on you and their prayers for you when they were here, even carry on as they go. And somebody one time when I lost my mom, somebody said to me, listen, it's really good to have people in high places. And I never let go of that. I thought that was just a great way of looking at it. And it's undeniable how much of an effect they have had on my life as angels. So
Wow, I love that. It's good to have people in high places. That's really
mhm.
good. Do you feel like a part of you still does like your dreams are still for them? Like a lot of the work and a lot of the dreams that you're still pursuing or even yet to pursue is to honor them and how they looked after you and believed in you?
Yep. So uh, in life we have this thing you probably heard it before, but when they say you're following your dreams or if you're trying to lose weight or if you're trying to whatever you're trying to pursue that's like a force bigger than yourself, they say find your why. And for a long time, Chris was my why. I would just always be like everything. My slogan for him, we love Trey Songz, just gotta make it, the song. And so the line in the song was everything I do for you. So that was like for a long time, I would just every time I hit another notch in my career, I'll just look at the sky like, yeah, I got it. I'm doing it. Everything I do for you. And so I am grateful because it helped me stay on a path. Like I just always wanted to make him proud, my great grandma proud. You know, people, especially older people in your life, they don't necessarily believe in your dreams that much because you know we come from our ancestors been through a lot. Like I remember when Obama was running for president, my mom was 99 years old. And I was like, Mom, you know it's a black man running for president. She was like, oh no, he better not do that. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like the rest of us is like, yeah, go ahead, black man, get it.
Right.
And she's like, he better go sit down. I'm telling you, that's not a good idea. So like our old heads don't play. You know, they're stuck in their way. They know what it used to be, and they don't want you to go through anything bad. So she's like, you need to have a secure job. You need to go to school. You need to do this. I'm like, but I really want to do hair. My family was giving me so much grief, but my mom and dad, I think because they saw firsthand how well it was working out for me, they was like, I mean, we think you could do it. And my mom, she bought me my curling iron set, my first curling iron set. My aunt Lil and my grandmother, I think they went half on a mannequin head for me. And I just was like, okay, well, somebody believe, you know. And when people tell me, oh, my parents don't believe in me, I'm like, forget them, just do it. Just do it. And I get it because you just want the support of a family member or support of your friends, but it doesn't always work like that. So sometimes you just gotta go ahead and get it cracking and show them later that it worked.
And then they'll believe, and then they'll be like,
Yes. So, you know, they were my whys. I just always wanted to make everybody happy, proud, you know, and I feel like I've obtained that. I have at least one or two text messages a week from everybody just saying, Key, I just want to let you know I'm so proud of you. And I never get tired of hearing it. You know, I'm just grateful that I have stayed the course.
Aren't we all Key? We all listen. Us down here, we're grateful too that you have stayed the course. So you thrived in Philly, and then you moved to LA. Like, what was it, 7 years ago? How did you know that it was time to go? And how did you know you had left your mark there and it was time to leave the nest?
So I wanted to live in LA ever since I was 19 years old. Wait, was I 19 when I got here? No, I was 21 when I first got here, or 22, something like that.
Okay.
And from the moment I got here, I visited LA 21 more times before I was like, I'm leaving. And I was just always so scared. Like LA is expensive. It's a foreign land. I'm from West Philly. I've never been anywhere like other than just, I'm going to Atlantic City for the weekend. I'm going to Virginia. I'm going to Miami. We all be at Miami all the time. New York. I was in New York a lot. But LA is just, in distance, it just felt so far away from home. And, I was like, I want to live there. It's just so many opportunities. That was the best part about it. Every time I came here, it was just something would happen, whether it was seeing a celebrity at the mall or, everything just was throwing me around. Like, I just think this place is magical, and then it can be because some people you ask how LA is and they be like LA is the worst. Like we saw Cardi B yesterday tripping, send her a fork for her food. I hate California, and it's like people just hate California for a whole bunch of reasons, but for the reasons that I'm here, the weather and the opportunities, it's a magical place. And it's all about what you make it. I tell everybody, just find your tribe when you get here, because in Philly, I have a bunch of friends, all family. And so you feel secure, you feel safe, but nothing grows in your comfort zone. And it's been so many years where I was like, I'm moving there. And my boyfriend at the time, I'm like, well, I'm gonna just save. I kept saying, I'm gonna save some money before I go. I'm gonna save. And my boyfriend at the time, he said, people don't get rich and move to Cali. They go to Cali and get rich. And I'm like, damn, that was deep. Like, you know what I'm saying? And so I never forgot that. And just I give him a lot of credit for just inspiring me to just get up and go. Cause I probably would have still been in Philly, like, I just need a little more money, you know what I'm saying, before I go. And I just had to go. I left with literally a few $100s in my pocket. I had a few thousand before I came. I used it to move. By the time I finished moving, I had a few hundred. And what I would do is, I had such a big following on Instagram. I would do pop-up shops in LA. I would do pop-up shops in LA before I even moved here. And so when I moved here, I would do pop-up shops right before it was time to pay the rent, just to make sure I had my money to pay the rent, and do about 20 people at the end of every month at the salon. Jasmine Ashley, shout out to her. She let me come work at her salon, and everybody would show up, get their hair done, and I could pay my rent. And other than that, I was just moving and shaking, just trying to figure out where God wanted me. So
Wow.
7 years later, I'm doing great. I have a great clientele. I took a little break because when my mom and dad died, I just needed a second, and I abruptly just just retired, like, it's over. And so, and what's funny is, after I retired, I made more money than I've ever made in my entire life. And and I know it was because of my mom and dad. I know it. And so, I'm back on the scene, not necessarily in the salon, because I don't really want to do that, but back with the celebrities. And now I'm working with a child of destiny child. Like, okay, a child of destiny.
You are
Okay.
working with the beautiful child of destiny, honey.
Yes, I love Kelly. I love Kelly. She, I had prayed and asked God, because I was like, what's next? Because sometimes I just sit around and I get a little bored. I can't lie. And I'm like, what's next? I started the magazine. The magazine was amazing, is amazing. And, I'm just asking God. I said, I just need something to get me excited again in my career, And so, like, maybe a week later, after I said that prayer, I got the call for Kelly, and I'm like, wait, what? And and so when I looked, and I'm like, this is real. Like, my friend told me, she's like, yeah, Kelly's gonna, her people's gonna call. And I'm like, really? Okay. And originally, of course, I wanted Kelly for the magazine and all that. And she's like, yeah, Kelly wants something more than that. She wants her hair done. And I'm like, really? I'm like, okay. And then I'm like, God, is this what you're telling me? I'm like, I'm just gonna listen to you, because I'm not gonna not go do Kelly. And so I went to do Kelly's hair, and she is just special. Before I moved out here, because I heard so many bad things about LA, I just asked God to surround me with his warmest children. I've done basketball wives, I've done actresses, I've done now singers. And so, even all the way from the reality stars to Kelly, like, every single one of my celebrity clients are just the warmest humans, the kindest humans. They're just compassionate and beautiful inside and out. And I love every single one of them. God has not failed me yet. And I've had like maybe 2 clients that were just like, I'm not. And I just released them as clients, because what we're not doing is being abused by clients. It's not happening. So what I love is that I've ended up with just a beautiful, beautiful clientele in Hollywood. And I'm grateful to God for surrounding me with his warmest kids.
Okay, this girl, if this girl don't inspire you, I don't care what you do. If you drive trucks, if you work as a chef, so inspiring. I love how you said that, you wanted her for the magazine, but then you got the call for something even bigger.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Well, Kelly, everybody doesn't know this, but Kelly found me on Instagram. And so, so so lately, me and all my friends have been complaining. I've been seeing other people complain who aren't my friends. Everybody's like, what is going on with the algorithm? Yes. The likes aren't there. The views aren't there. Everybody's like just sick. And because it's like, we've been on Instagram all these years. It's like, what happened? Like, but TikTok took over, and some people just aren't on Instagram anymore. People got older. They don't care. Like, it's just whatever. So Kelly found me on Instagram. I just woke up one day and it was all these likes from Kelly Rowland. Kelly Rowland liked this picture, like all bobs and haircuts. And I'm like, I said, wait a minute. I said, is that who I think it is? I know that ain't who I think it is. And so my friend is a makeup artist, Malika, and Malika has been doing Kelly's makeup for years. And so I sent Malika a screenshot like, oh, hey, Kelly girl, you think you could be on the cover of my magazine? You know, just being silly with Malika. And Malika was like, oh, she's like, I'm gonna call her and see if I could put in a word for you. So she calls her like maybe a week later, and next thing I know, she's like, Kelly, she's like, Kelly wants something better. Are you ready for this? I'm like, what? And she's like, she wants her hair done. And I'm like, yeah,
What?
did you ask her about the magazine? Like she's like, no, she's like, no,
About the
you
magazine.
could do this, you could do this yourself. This is amazing, big opportunity. I'm like, okay. And I had been so used to saying no for the past few years that I didn't even get as excited about doing that as I usually would. You know what I mean? I'm just like, well, you know, in my brain, all I could think of is if I do Kelly's hair once, I'm gonna have to do it a lot. And Kelly be working, you know what I'm saying? But the good news is I'm pretty much probably one of Kelly's real hair stylists, like when she gets her real hair done. So that helps break in half how often I would have to be at anyone's house that gets their hair done. Any celebrity that I do, like I'll do their wigs and stuff, but a lot of them call me for their real hair. And that's what I love because a lot, even though they wear their real hair a lot, because when they're in the house and chilling or going to everyday things, baby showers, birthday parties, a lot of times they wear their real hair if their real hair is flourishing. And as you see, her hair is flourishing. And so, you know, it's just, I like my time being cut in half instead of having to be there all the time because you know, it just takes up a lot of your time when you're in the industry because your clients are super busy. So it's like you know, it's always something to do, like always something to do. So I'm so grateful for the opportunity. It's been one of the best experiences I've had, along with my other clients in the industry. Tika Sumpter is one of my favorite clients. Me and Nafisa, of course, came up together in it. And so, you know, I have Karen Civil, just main clients, and I love just having main clients. Like I'll invite new people in randomly. It's like whatever God says is what I'm going to do. And you know, and if I get there and it's not serving me, I'm going to stop. I'm not wasting any time there. One thing about turning 40, me and you talked about, one thing about turning 40 is I feel like I've just gained the I don't give a F attitude. Like it's just like whatever. I I'm the most softest and the most ruthless that I've ever been at this age, and I'm okay with that. And so, you know, I'm just in a space where if something's not working for me, I just have to move accordingly because I don't want to waste much time because we have more time behind us probably than we have in front of us. And so I just want to make sure that I'm living authentic and genuine within me and not wasting too much time on things that don't make me happy.
You said so many things. Girl, listen. You said so much. I like how you said when you got the call to do Kelly's hair, you were kind of like hesitant. You were happy, but you were like, oh, I'm gonna have to always do her hair. And you were like, well, it worked out because you only do her real hair. And I like how you talked about that because you're saying to me, what I got from that is that you need balance. You don't care who it is. You need to be able to work, and you also have to live and enjoy your life and do the things that fulfill you. I like because a lot of people will just be like, no, I'm going to work, 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 work. And I feel like you probably have put in and done the work, 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 work. And so now it's like, well, I need the balance. I want to do the work if I feel led to, but I also am not going to, you know,
right.
all of my time to it. I like that.
Right.
Key, a lot of people will want to know because obviously we're in LA, but even people who aren't in LA, maybe they're in a Houston or a Louisiana or wherever they are, Philly. How do you secure a celebrity client? I know you've talked a lot about your network, which has been very key to your success as well, but how do you even go about getting a celeb client on your roster?
You know, one thing I've been blessed with is never having an agent. I never had an agent. Most of my celebrity hairstylist friends, they all are under agencies. So not only are they paying them a percentage, but it's like a gift and a curse to have an agent. Agents help you get more work, but they also take a good percentage of your money. And so I like the genuineness of just getting the clients myself. Basically, it's no different than being home in Philly is just word of mouth. Like people, and what's cool about it now is we have social media. Back when I was younger doing hair, we didn't have social media, but around like what 10 years ago, like social media took off like wildfire, and all they did was tag me, and I next thing you know, I had 12 girls sitting on the bench like waiting, and I'm like, what's happening? So the cool part is now, like a real big high profile client reached out to me a few days ago, but I wasn't available, and I'm like, oh my goodness, are these the kind of people? Because it's like now we got Kelly tagging me, and so it's just word of mouth. They like, oh, she did Kelly. I'm going. I want to go. And so it's kind of cool how that works. And it's you go, you do a great job like you do for everybody, and you be yourself. Just really good energy. Don't be unprofessional and being hyped to take pictures and doing too much. Like I'm myself. And so I'm a filmer. I love filming everything. I have one client who we filmed her whole hair, but her hair was shorter than she wanted it to be. So we never posted it. And I, as much as I would love the world to see that I did this person, I'm not going to post her hair if she's not comfortable with it. But then you have people like Kelly. I was like, one day we'll just film your hair. And she's like, is it too late? Can we do it today? And this is on my first day there. And I'm like, no, it's not too late. Pull my tripod out my bag, like, let's do it, and that's like whatever God says goes, and that's what it is. So that's why when I was talking about Instagram earlier and her finding me on Instagram, social media is a huge tool to help you get your name out there. Even if you're doing your regular clients, just film and be a very good judge of character of what video goes up, what picture goes up, and what doesn't. Because sometimes stuff will look amazing in person, and you take the picture like, wait a minute, that's not reading well. So you have to know what to post and what not to post. It's all about quality, not quantity. And so, and then I also, when I posted that video with Kelly the first time, the last line of it was, I know Instagram been tripping y'all, but just keep posting and praying, because even though the algorithm is messed up, it's going to get where it's supposed to go. Right. So just keep on doing it. Whether you have 12 likes or 12,000 likes, somebody's seeing it that is going to benefit, and you're going to be fine.
And Kee, you not only film though, I feel like you utilize social media in a good way just for your own personal brand too, because you don't only film your clients, you do a lot of dope like content. Period. You know what I mean? And it'll go viral where you will, have the different hair changes and like the looks and the music and the aesthetic. It's so dope. So I like that you said, use social media to help you, get your following and your views up. I like that.
Yeah.
You talked a little bit about professionalism with the hairstylist, and we talked about this. And because I've been seeing just a bunch of like think pieces and articles and, comments and conversations on social media about hairstylists now. They call them IG hairstylists, So the conversations have been anywhere from, I think in Georgia, they don't have to have a cosmetology license anymore, or the deposits, or you got to come blow dried and all of this. What do you think about the current climate of hairstylists in the salon, or even just hairstylists, IG hairstylists? I'll say that. What do you think of the current climate of it?
It's in a little turmoil, but it's honestly, I know everybody is their own person, but honestly, recently it's been this new trend. It's about always a challenge, always a TikTok challenge, always a real thing going on where right now it's like, I'm a professional hairstylist. Of course I shampoo the hair before I do the hair. I'm a professional hairstylist. Of course I this and that. And I just feel like that is ridiculous. Like, what, just being a professional hairstylist is an amazing thing, and I'm here for it, right? But in the midst of doing those type of challenges, you're putting down the people who are coming up behind us, who maybe they know better and they just won't do better, or maybe they don't know any better. But it's like, instead of like being, snarky and all of that, I feel like it's best to just maybe take people under your wing, or do some courses, or do something that can maybe help. Because again, I know some people don't want to be helped. I'm not saying that we just, but it's just like, how in the hood they complain, these kids are this and these kids are that. Okay, so let's start a Boys and Girls Club, or let's start something like, maybe let's help these people out, instead of just always just pointing a finger. And so because these new girls are coming up and they might not be washing the hair, or they might not be licensed, or they might have some stuff going on, but they still be killing it. Like they be killing it. And these girls know what they're doing, and they do things that some of us don't even know how to do. So it's like, instead of being against each other, it's, to me, it's a time to join forces, because we could all learn something from each other. I don't love lace fronts. They're not my favorite, but I feel like I could help with being like, okay, can I show you how to keep the hair super healthy underneath? Because
Right.
that's one of my biggest things. Like, I don't love how sometimes people lose their edges from them, or how sometimes underneath the hair is not being taken care of. Can I help you learn to do that? Or the other way around. Like, I do real hair all the time. Can somebody help me do wigs better than I do? You know what I'm saying? Or the best products and all kind of things. So I feel like, instead of always just being like, what's up with these people, or and all of that, it's just more like, how can we help each other for the people who want to be helped? Because
Right.
as older hairstylists, sometimes they don't want to be helped. They feel like they know everything. And at the end of the day, what I've learned over the years is to always remain a student.
Mm.
But it's just because you're licensed and just because you wash hair don't make you a better hairstylist than the girls who are not. It just doesn't. So I just feel like it's time to kind of join forces and get hand in hand with each other, maybe, and do a little something like that. I could never get online and just start acting mean towards girls who might even look up to us. You know what I mean? And guys, and guys.
Right. I love that. I love that. Community. Just be in community with you.
Yes, yes, yes.
So Key, is the retirement permanent? Are you coming out of retirement? Or I mean, to do like people like me, because I'm gonna need help.
I'm just out here doing what I want to do. You just like catch me on a great day, and I might be there.
She's
I
good.
might be there.
I love it. Okay. So not only are you, like I said, a bomb hairstylist, but you have a line of hair products, including the viral and extremely popular. Everybody loves the flat iron. Why did you decide to take it a step further and branch out into start a business of in creating your own line of products?
So the products lines is 9 years old. And what made me do that is because people always ask me, what products do I use? And the products that I was using, I couldn't find in big sizes to be able to use them at the salon. So my friend Shantae talked to me, and my boyfriend at the time, the one who was always inspiring me, he just was like, you ever notice everybody always ask you, what products do you use? And I'm looking in the comments like, yeah, I do actually. He was like, he's like, think about it. Like, you should like make them something. And I'm like, yeah, I probably should, but where do I even start? And my friend Shantae calls me and she's like, Key, I want you to like pay attention to your audience. They're asking for products. And I'm like, damn, they are. I just talked to my boyfriend about this, and like, where do I start? And she's like, I'm going to help you. And she walked me through it. She helped me do everything that I wanted to do. And next thing you know, Sheer Genius Collection was developed. And, I'm thinking right now I'm working on a little bit of a rebrand. So I can't wait for everybody to see that. But yeah, that's all it was. I was in love with a lot of products. So I decided to kind of like emulate that and do what I could, made sure that those harsh chemicals and everything wasn't in it, no sulfates, no alcohols, no parabens, and just ended up with products that were just as great as the ones that I loved off the shelf.
Wow. I love that everything you said has been that somebody, supported you, like your ex-boyfriend
Mhm.
or your friend, helped you with putting this out. A lot of people, I think, lack support. I think, has that been like a saving grace for you to have like the support and help from like,
Listen, I'll tell you all the time, like, I'm not doing none of this by myself. Like, I know people are proud of me and just whatever, but I've always just needed to lean in on somebody, and God has always laid it out. It's called divine order, when just people are in your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And so a lot of my reason and seasonal people have really brought me up to the next level. And that's why I try to always reach out to others. Like, people always say reach back, but it's not even reaching back. I'm just reaching over to, because I look at everybody as an equal. So I'm reaching over, and I just want to help whoever I can. Like people want to talk to me all the time. How can I do this? How can I do that? How can I start my YouTube? And I'll literally take my time out. Now, this is the part that stresses me out. A lot of times I'll talk to people about it and then they don't go do it. But it almost feels like a waste of my time. But at the same time, I know I did my job and did what I could to make sure that I talk to people. But sometimes it can get a little overwhelming because people want info, but they don't do anything with it. But what I will say is I'm going to continue to do it. I'm not going to just stop because people don't always do it, because out of 20 people I might talk to, one person kill it. Like my friend Coco, we just had this conversation where it's like I'm always telling people what to do or suggesting stuff and they won't do it. And Coco has become a very successful YouTuber from the info I gave her versus me talking to 20 other people, and they didn't. So it's like, as long as one person got it, we've done a great job here.
Absolutely. What's one piece of advice you would give to somebody wanting to like start or create a marketing strategy for themselves? Let's just say they're a small business owner, they're maybe a hairstylist or a baker or whatever, and they're wanting to launch out and maybe brand it and market it like on a YouTube or social media. What's one piece of advice would you share with them?
My biggest advice is to just be yourself. I'm not a marketer. That title came in a little later because the stuff that I do is just genuine to who I am. I'm literally wake up in the middle of the night like, I don't think I'm gonna do this. You know what I mean? I'll come up with an idea. I'll have a dream like, yo, that was a great commercial I just dreamed of. Or like I'll be in the car. My biggest inspiration is music. I'll be in the car. I was listening to What These Bitches Want by DMX. And I'm riding down the street. I say, oh, he was out of control. Listen to all these girls he was dealing with. And I was like, I wonder what they look like. Because in the music video, video girls kind of all look the same back in the day. I'm like, in the music video, I was like, damn it. I just wait a minute. I'm like, what would their hair look like? What would they?
Right.
I was like, damn, I should do a video of like all the girls. Like, and so I'm next thing you know, I'm like in
You
my
did
room
it.
5 days in a row. 5 days in a row. I started with wigs, then I did my own real hair, then I did all ponytail styles, then I went and got my hair braided, came back and did all braids. And I was like, let me just do it. 47 girls. Like, what the hell? DMX was out of control. But it's like, next thing you know, I'm upstairs in my room with backdrops and clothes. My room, you couldn't even see the floor because it was so many outfits and hair all over the floor. And I'm just up there like, oh my God, I'm crazy. All of this for a commercial for my brand. And next thing you know, it turned into the DMX challenge. And to this day, people introduce you the DMX challenge girl, or people like, this my friend Kee. She started the DMX challenge. Like, it's like, what is my claim to fame? It's hilarious how that works. But or I'll listen to Black Effect. I'm listening to Black Effect in the car. I'm like, I love this song. And I'm like listening to Beyonce's words. And I said, I can make a video from this, and I'm like, matter of fact, I'm gonna save this idea for 4 months. It'll be Black History Month. I'll release it on February 1st. This is what, November. October, November, I'm coming up with it, and I'm in the car practicing the moves. Like, oh, it could be good if I did this move and transition like that. And I practiced in my car. Like, I would be on my way to the gym and turn the song on like it was rehearsal and just be doing it. And then February 1st, yeah, and February 1st it dropped, and next thing I know, Black Effect challenge everywhere. So, that kind of stuff, just be yourself. Even if yourself is dry, do a minimalistic marketing type thing. Like whoever you are, your story is your marketing. You don't have to come up with gimmicks and all kind of things like that to try to create something around yourself. Just be you, because it's the only way that you're going to be able to stay consistent with the branding. It's just whoever you are is what your marketing should be.
Oof. Kee, are you giving classes? Are you teaching? I mean, listen, girl, because I feel like everybody can learn. That's why I say you do bomb hair, you have your products, but your content, social media is so good too, so, and
Right.
not to mention, you need to come out with a line next, fashion, honey. Give
Oh
us
my God.
because you be killing it and looking so good, especially for the curvy girls. Like,
Thank you.
appreciate, seeing you like being like, oh, I can wear that. That looks so good. So
Right.
put that in your pocket too. Clothing line next.
In my back pocket. I'll put it.
Okay, so I know you got to go, but a few more things before you go. Your magazine, love everything that you're doing with the magazine. Amber Riley was just on the cover. So dope, so editorial. What
Yeah.
inspired this? Was this something you had always wanted to do?
It's
Again,
something I always wanted to do. I back in 2001, I talked to the owner of our salon. I say, "Hey, we was having a regular meeting." I said, "Hey, also I was thinking like because back in the day they had Golden Hot magazine. Oh wait, was it Golden Hot?
hype hair? Was it hype
No,
hair?
no, no. This was like a this solid gold, solid gold, solid
Okay.
gold. Shout out to Carlos. Solid Gold magazine was a thing like in I think it was like a tri-state thing where
Oh,
guy Carlos he would come around to the salon, set us up. You want to do a shoot, we would do the shoot, and then it would come out in this big old thick magazine yearly. And I'm like looking at him and I'm like, I feel like we could do the same thing, but with information and like all the time. Like I was so into Elle magazine, Allure, Harper's Bazaar. I loved magazines. I just couldn't walk past when you at the market and remember in the impulse items, the magazines there. I did everything I could to read magazines. It was my thing. It was like being on Instagram. That's where you found out what fashion was going on, hair, makeup trends. And so I was like, we need to do something for hair that's like information and photo shoots. That would be really cool because his was just photo shoots, which was amazing because it was to promote. You could see everybody from DC, Maryland, Philly, Jersey, and New York.
mhm.
So it just got a little like she didn't want to do it basically. She's like, that's going to be hard. Just kind of talked me down all out of that. And I'm like, okay, well, cool. And so here we are, 2023 is when I started, where I'm like, I still want to do this. And then I know it's weird because magazines aren't really a thing anymore, but so many people are subscribed to our paper magazine. We have paper and digital, so you can read it for free digitally, or you can buy a paper copy. People are subscribed. They got our Deeper to Hair magazines on their coffee tables, and it's just full of information, Hype Hair, Sophisticated Black Hair, shout out to them. They were also two of my favorite magazines, and I just felt like we were lacking in that area. So I just wanted to put all the information and be able to highlight my hairstylist peers and my friends on the covers and just do give the world something that they need or didn't even know that they needed.
I feel like that's what you always give us. Like I said, disruptor at the beginning, you are
Mhm.
the definition of a disruptor because you give us things that we, may not even be thinking about, but we'll see you and it's like, oh, okay. Bob, bet. Let me go get my hair to Bob because Key
Right,
is
right.
oh, bet Key have that floor lit faux fur coat on. Let me go get that. Let me get my wife. But I feel like that's what you're always giving. Key, what's the most rewarding part of your job?
Just everybody else feeling satisfaction from it and just like yesterday with you, just watching you go from defeated to just glow. And so stuff like that, just I know that I'm serving my purpose in life because if I can just make people happy or give them momentarily make them happy, then it just to me feels like I'm doing my job.
Well, you're doing your job. When you're not doing your job, how do you self-care? Because I think I interrupted a little bit of your
I just right now, yes, go get my feet done. I honestly just watch a lot of TV. Uh, I've been doing a lot of reading, like Iyanla books and stuff like that. She's helped me a lot on a lot of my journey. Just I worked with Iyanla before, and it was just like you never wanted to leave. And so I read her books, and just little stuff like that. I also am a phone girl. I talk on the phone to my friends a lot. Me and Fisa, me and my best friend Shay, me and Devontae, me and my boo. I talk on the phone a lot, So I feel like that's funny because I never looked at it as self-care, but I just love, being on the phone with certain people, not everybody.
right. I like talking on the phone too, because I'll be on the phone for like an hour and be
Yeah,
like,
same hours. Me and mine's be on the phone for hours.
oh, is there or do you still have dreams that you want to pursue?
Absolutely, absolutely. I have one big dream I'm working on right now. I talked to you about it, but I didn't tell the world yet. I'm not going to tell them yet. But I definitely have dreams I want to pursue because I just have a lot of ideas and goals and things I need to get out of this brain, baby.
Mm.
This brain needs to empty out, you
And
know.
amongst what your brain has. Lastly, before I let you go, what brings you joy?
Um, what brings me joy?
Mhm.
You know, now that I'm at this age, what brings me joy is just simply waking up every day. I just, if as long as I woke up and my brother woke up every day, I am fine. I don't care about nothing else. As long as me and my brother wake up every morning, I'm good.
Right. Oof, in Jesus' name. That's
Yes,
that's a
amen.
blessing in itself. Waking up
Yes,
in your right mind, right in your health, good health. That's a blessing.
yes.
Can you tell the people where they can follow you on Insta?
Follow me on Instagram at Social Genius, and I don't be on TikTok like that. I'm trying, y'all. Please forgive me or give me some tips because I don't love TikTok. But TikTok, same thing. Social Genius, YouTube, Deeper Than Hair TV, and Facebook, Deeper Than Hair.
There you have it. And this has been deeper than hair, honey. So stay
Yeah,
tuned for the reveal of everything, the process. Well, y'all seen the reveal, but the
yeah,
process of it all. Key, thank you
yeah.
so much. I appreciate
Yes,
you.
you're welcome.
Inspire me so much and just women, period. So thank you for taking time and sharing space with me yesterday and today.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome.
I appreciate you. Okay, Key, I know you got to get out of here.
Child, yes, the nail people just called me. I'm out.
Bye.
Bye, boo.